So the Indiana Fever have got their enforcer. They have got their enforcer for Caitlin Clark. And I'm not going to lie, like, when it comes to Caitlin Clark and their enforcer, last year everyone was talking about them needing an enforcer. And the closest thing they had was Erica Wheeler. That was the closest thing they had for someone to defend Caitlin Clark was Erica freaking Wheeler. Maybe Tammy, but Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early and they needed their Charles Oakley. You've got that in Sophie Cunningham. When it comes to DeWanna Bonner's tough. You're not going to mess with DeWanna Bonner, but I wouldn't call her an enforcer. Natasha Howard, the same. I wouldn't call her an enforcer, but you don't mess with her. Sophie Cunningham, on the other hand, yeah. Sophie Cunningham is literally the, for lack of a better word, the biggest shithouse in the WNBA. Like, that is the best way I would describe her. As that's the only best word I could use to describe her. Like, Sophie Cunningham would be is that. Like, there are so many videos of Sophie Cunningham just starting brawls. Like, I want to see if I can find some of the things. Like, but Sophie Cunningham in general is just wild. Wild is the best word I can use to describe Sophie Cunningham. And, like, it's carnage. Like, it's carnage a lot of the time when Sophie Cunningham gets involved with anything. The amount of fights that Sophie Cunningham has been involved in is mental. And this is what I will always say when it comes to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham, if you guys have not seen a while ago, Sophie Cunningham tried to fight Myisha Hines-Allen. She tried to fight Myisha Hines-Allen. You do not, like, there are not that many people. You can see everyone else is trying to get as far away from this situation as possible. Everyone else. So she hits a three. Myisha Hines-Allen fouls her and then tries to step over. And then Sophie Cunningham grabs her leg. Nobody's going near Myisha Hines-Allen, but no, Sophie Cunningham will start the fight. The refs are trying to break it up. None of the Mercury players are going to go near Myisha Hines-Allen. They're scared. She's scared of bejesus out of them. Myisha Hines-Allen is one of the toughest players in this league. Sophie Cunningham going head to head straight with her. If you step over anyone, you deserve to smoke. Unnecessary foul followed by the step over. Lack of remorse. Not mistaken for competitiveness. I don't know. Like, Sophie Cunningham is, like, obviously there's a lot of Sophie Cunningham stuff that has come out in the last couple of days. So I'm trying to look for some videos. Literally, there's a video. Is Sophie Cunningham the next Marina Mabry? Is she dirty or just intense? And there are videos of, like, this is an entire video of, like, for lack of a better word, dirty plays from Sophie Cunningham. So what's she doing here? He throws someone off. Like she is just, she plays at a level of intensity that at times borders on, like, psychotic. And there is dirty plays in there. Like her and Kat Copper. Kat Copper gets her around the neck in this play. Like she will gladly want all the smoke. Like, she wants all the smoke. Official Kat Copper Sophie Cunningham t-shirt. Like, Kat Copper getting a Sophie Cunningham's face. Just everything. Is that her going to Emily Engstler for against the Fever? Like, what did Sophie Cunningham do here? She's getting into it with Engstler. Like, she is... Yeah, her and Engstler is getting into it. Again, I would not back down. Like, Emily Engstler looks like a tough as nails player too. Like, Sophie Cunningham, there are so many things where it's like, part of it her fault, part of it not her fault, but she will not back down. She will not back down under any circumstances from anything. And that is what the Indiana Fever need. If somebody hits Caitlin Clark, if somebody does what Victoria Vivians did to Caitlin Clark, it's not going to be Caitlin Clark that's getting involved to be teed up. Sophie Cunningham's in there. You take the technical foul. You take it. Do we not even remember Sophie Cunningham, like, starting a fight and then walking away and not getting teed up last year in the Mercury versus Fever game? Like, as much as she can be an enforcer, like, she is, like, there is, with Sophie Cunningham, she's just nuts. And like and it's not necessarily nuts in a good way. Like she might be this might be nuts in a bad way. Like Sophie Cunningham is guarding the screen here, and she just takes a hard hit. Nothing major. So she's down. And then after taking a hard hit, just gets back up and laughs. Gets back up and laughs a bit after taking a hard hit. Like, this is, again, Jordan Canada drops the shoulder. There is some intent in that from Jordan Canada. But she takes the hard hit and goes down, obviously, gets back up and just laughs. Like, that's a legitimate thing where you're like, okay, yeah, this is a person who is just, like, there is a toughness there with Sophie Cunningham. And, like, she's not scared of getting, for lack of a better word, stuck in. Like, you see there in the Kat Copper situation, obviously that becomes viral. Kat Copper getting her in a headlock and screaming at her. This is game 2 of WNBA Finals. Sophie Cunningham still, it doesn't matter in any way. Like, there's mad stuff. Like, Sophie Cunningham is going to get a minimum of 1 suspension this season. But, like, you need players like that. Dawson shoves Sophie Cunningham out of bounds. Ejection, 2 technicals, 1 called on Collier with Sophie Cunningham. Heated moment, Sophie Cunningham and Jackie Young separated. Taurasi is peacemaker. Heated exchange between, like, half this woman hooping page is Sophie Cunningham. Half of this page is just mad stuff with Sophie Cunningham just getting into it with people. Like, you sometimes need a Draymond. Obviously, it goes too far when you're actually, like, putting someone in danger. Like, taking someone out of it in the air. Some of that stuff. Like, it can go too far. Like, the Draymond thing. What Draymond has done, like, what Draymond did in 2016, other than the 2 times he kicked Steven Adams in the nuts, you could live with it back then. It's just gotten, the worse he's gotten, the more, like, out of line he's gotten with the stuff he's done on the floor. Actually, punching a teammate doesn't help either. But sometimes you need one of those players on your team. You need one of those enforcers. And not only that, like, you've got a bunch of tough players around. You've got a whole bunch of tough players around Caitlin Clark and the Fever. And you have got one person who is without question going to be the enforcer. You know, there is, and if nothing else, people will want to hit Sophie Cunningham more than they want to hit Caitlin Clark on this team. Like, if they want to hurt someone on this Fever team, it's going to be her. It's not going to be Caitlin Clark this year. If they want to hurt an Indiana Fever player, it's going to be Sophie Cunningham. So, yeah, like, a solid signing for what she does on the floor. But, like, the protecting Caitlin Clark type thing. And every good player, by the way. Every good player, every good team that is a super duper star. Most of the time have enforcer type players. Anyway, yeah. That's the video. I'll see you guys.